7 p.m. I'm SneakyDevil, and this here is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9001, and welcome you all for joining us today.
Welcome to everyone. Prepare for trash.
Now, as
we have found a delicious one.
Yes, we have indeed. It is Rosario Vampire Ruby.
As I didn't realize you found one that was this trash. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, as I was saying, as always, it can be found in the
As someone who read that series is fucking trash.
What, Ruby or Rosario Vampire?
Rosario Vampire, dude.
I mean, yeah, it kind of was. Like, looking back on it now, I was like, wow, that series was actually fairly bad. You know? Anyway, as I was saying, as always, in Discord down below, you can find the link to the fanfiction, and as always, do not contact any of the people who we feature here in the fanfiction unless they specifically mention they are open to being contacted. At which point, I can't do anything to stop you. Now, as it is only me today, as you can see by my lovely top banner, I will be joined today by the various guest stars that I have brought in. So that'll be Nosehair, Zex, and maybe Cruel Rune, aka Kiln.
I mean, I'm a mod, so I'm not really a...
You're a guest star. I don't bring you in too often. Anyway. Fucking figgity fack. Smack. Okay. My sneak boys into house. Pull me in, fam. I will pull you in, fam. All right, boys.
Oh boy, there's a lot of guest stars.
Everyone's wearing headsets.
Oh yes.
All right, good.
I went that and managed to trigger a breaker.
Nice. 10 out of 10.
You managed to trigger a what now?
A breaker. Anyway.
Not sure how you accomplished that.
With his Russian magic, that's how.
To put the lights on.
Russia.
Right.
Oh, Russia. Anyway. Eclipse. Jake is a new member of Team Ruby, and he has a dark and mysterious past.
Is this OC?
Is it? That's
Is
verbatim.
Fucking OC?
That is fucking verbatim.
That's verbatim. We're off to a great start, ladies.
We are off to a fantastic start. AU Ruby, new kingdom, new academy, new characters, all harem. So we have an option here, my dudes. We can either read this story, or we can sit
I'm already not wanting you to finish this story.
Or we can sit here and do a semi-serious interview with Mr. Kink here about writing for the Ruby fandom.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
I think he's getting a gun to shoot himself.
Wait, Baghdadi writes for fucking the Ruby?
Who? No, you,
I don't
bro.
care.
You.
It's even written in the first perspective.
It's all you, man. So what will it be, my lads?
You know what? I'd rather go with the interview at this point because holy shit, I have just read the first paragraph of this and it's already triggering me on so many levels.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just gonna leave this up so everyone can see why we're not doing this.
Do you still have the derail counter thing?
I can set up a derail counter.
Just put it up at infinity.
Unfortunately, I do not have the infinity symbol, so I cannot do that.
I'll make you one in MS Paint right now. Give me a second. Wait, no, Photoshop, so it doesn't have a background. Give me a second.
Anyway, so
Actually,
do tell us about what it is like writing for the Ruby fandom.
Okay. So, let's put it this way, right?
Right.
The first fic I ever wrote that became popular on this, like in this website, was a Ruby Naruto crossover with Sasuke and Naruto. It was like a proper first fic ever type of fic. Everything was wish fulfillment. It's no longer available. Don't even try to look for it.
No, I know. I'm just bringing you up.
Yeah. And it was complete and utter trash. I didn't know how to write. I didn't know how grammar worked. English is definitely not my first language, so we have that.
Yeah.
And it was the most cliched fucking plot ever. I just had Naruto and Sasuke in Beacon for no real reason at all.
Right.
And people fucking ate it up. My first chapter, which was 6,000 words of complete horseshit, got me 600 followers. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Mhm.
So as long as you write something that is moderately readable, has overpowered characters, and has the potential of a lot of sexing, fanfic will just bubble it up.
Yeah, yeah, no, I do see that problem a lot in the Ruby fandom. There's a lot of problems I've seen with certain people when it comes to their fans demanding relationships happen, and then the authors try to put their relationships in, and the story dies in a bloody glory fire. White Sheep was a good example of a story that almost fucking detonated on itself due to that.
Yep.
But like, what were the kind of messages you got?
Oh, it was always either one of two types of messages. One was, oh yeah, I recommend you put this girl with this character.
Right.
Or two, why is Naruto so underpowered? That's literally the two messages you get. And anything you write in the Naruto fanfiction segment or the Ruby fanfiction segment, you'll get that. If you want to make a crossover with Ruby, it's already very hard because Ruby, compared to almost all the most popular fandoms these days, is kind of banal. It's simple, right?
It's very underpowered comparatively to some fandoms.
That's the easiest way to explain it because Aura, okay, sure, like, yeah, great, nice. It's like a little shield thing. Makes you a little bit more powerful, makes you heal a bit faster. Naruto, for example, like a character Naruto has that kind of shit without the use of chakra. Because Kyuubi.
And don't they run at Chunin speeds?
Yeah. So everybody will message you saying, oh my god, how dare you make Naruto so underpowered?
Yeah.
And after a certain point, when I try to break away from like the Ruby lore, like the entire like actual canon,
Right.
to like branch out into stuff of my own, people just went like, yeah, why do you do that? The thing people want to read is basically a Harry Potter-esque high school romance comedy with really charismatic, overpowered characters that are written really badly.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the
I mean, I
Ruby
can believe
basically-
that. I honestly thought, though, a lot of more people would enjoy the original character settings and whatnot.
That's the funny thing, they don't. They don't want to. They don't
People
want to get that
know-
chance.
People don't like original settings.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't like original like settings either. Like I've read some stories that I was just like, wow, this is basically not even blank at this point.
For example, let's say in the Ruby segment, have you read any story that's popular and well written where the main characters begin in, let's say, Atlas or Mistral or anything
Okay,
else?
fair enough. Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
but you could use like say Silver as an example, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Because
Silver works with a lot of concepts. Silver's basically like, what if Aura was more than just a shield?
What if Aura was more than just rule of cool? Yeah.
What if Team Juniper actually had personalities outside of cool and silent, very, very loud,
Also, Nora.
everybody
Ooh.
likes her and she's powerful, and useless.
No, I get you. So like, what did you receive more harassment and encouragement from? And
Dude.
which side? With the Naruto
Alright.
side or the Ruby side? Which was more like cancerous?
The one
I
thing
guess?
that I have to say about that fan fiction, like that fandom, that
Mhm.
combined Naruto Ruby fandom, was that I actually didn't get much harassment from them till I started writing D times D. So Ruby fandom, I'm A-okay with.
Right.
No matter, like, even if you step outside, they'll just like be like, oh, I'm a bit disappointed in you, but that's completely fine. For example, this new fic I wrote, I put John in I put him in Atlas, right? So
Right.
the most like hate I got was this one guy saying, yeah, I mean, the inner romantic in me wanted them to go to Beacon, but hey, new stories, I guess, whatever. So the Ruby fandom is quite, like, it lets you go. It lets you off on, like, some of the things.
Honestly, I thought the Ruby fandom would be a bit more cancerous these days, considering the sort of stuff we've seen from them recently with the whole shipping wars and the harassment of the authors.
Right. That kind of stuff only goes into those pairing fics. For example, like if you go into the Ruby segment, there's only 3 types of fics that's popular. 1, written by Core. 2, written by LaFoe. 3, pairing one-shots.
Fair enough.
Pairing stuff.
And
those are the fics that are reviled by the people who don't support those shipping.
Fair enough. Yeah, I hear Core gets a lot of death threats. Have you ever received genuine, out of the ordinary, very specific death threats?
Yes, but that's from the D times D one. That's a different thing altogether. And the Overwatch community, which was horrendous. But
really, the Overwatch community. I hear you can actually report them to Blizzard now to get them banned.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing. You can report them for stuff they do out of game. That's the most beautiful thing. You can report them for playing one hero too many times.
Yeah, I heard about that too. The one guy who
you can report them for overusing emotes.
That's
and that is why I play TF2.
See, you're a smart man.
So, when it comes to writing specifically at this point, the Naruto Ruby section, was there anything that you saw that was overly common?
Yeah,
that was disgusting.
That's one thing. Yeah, and the one thing that was the most common in the Naruto Ruby section is everybody wants Naruto to bang Pyrrha. It's the thing. It's not even a joke. It's like, oh yeah, the red hair, he's got a thing for the redheads. And yes, saving Private Pyrrha, another thing. Everybody wants her saved.
Of course, everyone wants her saved.
I actually can kind of see with the whole, just replace John with Naruto and have him bang Pyrrha, because they're both blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and like red hair.
Dragons. Yeah.
I guess I can
Yeah,
see
about
that.
banging Pyrrha, but I can very well say that I'd be expecting him to save Pyrrha too, because if not, then what's the reason to insert him even?
Yeah, fair enough. No, I understand why lots of people want to save Pyrrha. It's sort of like the same problem with the Harry Potter section, I would say, in which Dumbledore did a lot of stupid shit because J.K. Rowling isn't an amazing author, and so whenever people write fan fiction, they're like, well, this was a lot of stupid shit, I'm not going to put that in my story.
Yeah, makes sense. And one more thing that, of course, defines fanfiction, as I believe it, is the top story in a section. Right. So, for example, the Naruto and Naruto Ruby crossover section, you will see that almost every single fic that's become popular in there derives in some way or the other from Maelstrom's Shinobi thing, like Mothballs' fic. Because that's it set a precedent for all other fics to come. Even though it's not a very well-written fic, Moth says that himself. He prefers to write his Pokemon stuff. But the thing is, it's generic but fun. It's like Naruto. It's like a bite-sized.
It does set a good basis. I will admit, I did read it myself at one point. I didn't like it overly much.
It's not great. It's
fake.
Decent.
Yeah, no, it's certainly. It's certainly not bad. It was just meh.
Yeah. And that's the thing, there's nothing really changing, and there's a little bit thrown in here or there, oh yeah, you're just in the future instead of you being in a different world, stuff like that. But it never really comes back, it never really becomes a major plot point. And it just keeps on going. It's like monotony. A new chapter comes out, you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what to expect, but I'll read it because of this author's spin on it.
Right.
And that kind of style was originally, it's something that I believe came from The Engulfing Silence.
Mm-hmm.
Because he used to do that a lot. He used to take this one character and just go so the world stays pretty much the same, the plot will stay pretty much the same, but how will my character impact it?
Right.
I find this enjoyable to write. It's
definitely one of my more enjoyable fan fictions to read, because it's certainly it's easier for the author to just be like, all right, so we have one character from X world, now in Y world, how does things change? It's certainly easier for authors. But not only that, it's more interesting because I've seen so many stories that try to mesh the two together, and there's so much that can go wrong that it almost makes it less enjoyable to read them sometimes.
Exactly. Like, people who try to mess too much with plot, like, you don't like Ryogi, I believe that might actually be the reason. He messes too much with the world. He takes it to something else. He made like a fucking, like, he created an entire history for Mistral that stretched like approximately a century. And a lot of it now, when you see like the later seasons, makes you go like, wait, what the fuck?
No, I mean
Well, see, back then we didn't really know a lot,
yeah,
so I guess you could
that's the problem that comes with writing fic for stories that haven't finished yet. Because when the new stuff comes out, you look at your old shit and you're just like, well, shit, I'm wrong completely.
How do you think my Overwatch fic died? I actually liked writing that one, but then some new heroes were released, some new maps were released, some plot points became relevant. I'm like, oh shit, I've written myself into a fucking dead space. I can't write myself out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, I stopped updating. I didn't even tell anybody that, oh yeah, this will be a dead fic. No, I just stopped updating because I knew there's no way I can write myself out of this.
So,
and sometimes, of course, the source material itself is fucking weird and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Overwatch, again, just quoting example. So Farah, who's Anna's daughter, is supposed to be around the same age, 1 or 2 years younger than Mercy, right?
Sure.
But in the official artwork that was used for an official trailer for Anna, there's a photo of a fully grown Mercy playing with a kid Farah.
Right.
And I'm just like, what? So stuff like that, you know, like when you've written something, I was writing like a brief interplay between these two characters, and like I see them as like kind of compatriots because like they're wing people and like they're just like they have good synergy in game, and like everything that's suggested by the lore says that, oh yeah, they're close friends. Sure. The only issue is the moment that image came in, a lot of things just kind of unraveled, and then other plot points came in.
Right.
Like Anna's entire backstory, how she got injured, what all happened. So yeah, that's the thing about canon that's still going on. And you can see this kind of issue in a lot of old Naruto fics as well.
Oh, there is definitely tons of Naruto fics. Zeke's actually ran some statistics machine on my profile, and about 50% of the fics I've read are dead. And there's definitely a lot of Naruto fics that I have read and favorited that are dead because of plot points that changed while they were updating.
Exactly.
So as far as you mentioned your Naruto Ruby fic was the first thing you ever wrote in terms. So what was the biggest thing that you learned from writing that when you moved on to a different fic?
Pretty simple. Just actually try to do something that isn't already done before. Simple. When you think about it, it sounds very simple. But that's the issue. Mostly everything you thought of has been done before. So the thing I learned was take the best, cut out the fat, and write. That's it. It's the easiest way ever. Of course, work with your own plot to structure something out. Any characters you make have to be believable.
Right.
And after that, it's just literally taking from here, taking from there, and mixing it all up.
Fair enough.
Sounds like plagiarism, but trust me, once you actually do write it down,
I mean, if you change things enough, it certainly isn't plagiarism anymore.
Well, I mean, as a long-time DM who has a lot of problems coming up with stuff, plagiarism is never bad.
Dude, I'm a game designer, and you know what our teachers told us? They're like, yeah, don't fucking bother with like creating completely new systems, because there's already probably a system out there that fits your use. Just just twist it around, change some terminology, add some things, remove some things, and you've got yourself a new system, and nobody can say that you've copied it from somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, I've actually I was actually thinking of like designing a game somewhat. I don't know, maybe I'll discuss this later in depth, but it was just like Scooby-Doo, but Betrayal on the House of the Hill, but more Scooby-Doo-ish.
That actually sounds kind of fun. Sure, we'll talk about
it.
Well,
no, I was like, yeah, we can talk about it later, not now.
Yeah,
that's a tangent I'm not willing to go into tonight, because that would take hours.
Trust me, game design talks generally do.
Anyway, so
I would like to point out something that has been said a little. That has been said a little bit earlier. It's not like people don't like original characters. It's just that whenever you see OC in the summary, you are thinking, "Oh my god, it's going to be shit."
That's another thing that's been attached to fan fiction over time. It's like, oh yeah, there's an OC, which means it's literally a self-insert, which means this character is going to be a Mary Sue, because it's so commonly done. You pick up almost any badly written OC, which is of course like you'll find like tons of them in every section ever. You'd find one coming out every day for like something like Naruto or Harry Potter.
Well, for every what's that fucking Searching for Sunshine in the Naruto section? Is that what it's called? For every Searching for Sunshine, you get fucking garbage OCs like I am Hyuga Hinata. Like
Hugo Hinata.
Yeah, like that was actually a story. It's like I am accidentally Sakura Haruno, and it's a really dumb series and really silly.
That is some quality trash.
Yeah, and then the next part of the series she ends up in Hinata, and then in the third part it turns out she was always from this world, and the comas just made her travel into other people's bodies, but then a portal happens, and for the third part of the series, she's now a character in the Naruto world, and then she dates Sasuke.
And speaking about OCs, honestly, like I've realized that you can just slip OCs into stories, just as long as there's not on your fucking description, nobody cares actually. As long as that character feels like a part of the universe. For example, for my D times D story, the one that I deleted, right. I created like one proper OC called Arya Phoenix, which was supposed to be it was only supposed to be a character that explained the difference between a devil and a demon, and she did her job admirably. The issue was people actually liked her, so I had to actually bring her further into the plot. Otherwise, she would die at the end of chapter 3. And the thing was, after the fic died, the first message I got was somebody asking me if they could take my OC. I'm like, fucking take it, do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Mutilate it, because I know you're going to.
Yep.
Destroy this character's backstory so you can make it more OC-ish.
No, so speaking of you brought up the D times D, so let's actually talk about that. So, you said the D times D crew was a lot more cancerous than the Ruby crew. How would the Naruto crew, though, compare between the two? Were they like the same sort of people, or were they just more cancerous because of D times D?
See, the thing about the Naruto fandom is it's too huge. So you get all kinds, but it's generally just a very mediocre experience with them. Mm-hmm. You can write the best fic for Naruto ever. Patrons don't. But yeah, somebody will come up and be like, oh, Naruto isn't powerful enough in this. So yeah. That's basically the one gripe they always have. And there'll always be that one commenter who goes like, yeah, Naruto created this gigantic Rasengan in the movie that was the size of the fucking moon or something. And you're like, why? Why do you have to do this on every fucking fic?
Yeah.
And the thing is, some writers take that to heart, and then they believe that Naruto is like an godlike character who deserves all the pussy in the world.
Like Fairy Tail Dragon.
Fairy Tail Dragon. But yeah.
Right. Right. Well,
reminder that all of the movies are non-canon.
No. Actually, it by Kishimoto's own words, Naruto the Last is actually canon.
Yeah.
Is that the only one, though?
As far as I know, by word of God, yeah, that's the only one.
It was supposed to be like a link movie between Boruto and Naruto, so yeah.
Anyway, so you said that D times D is pretty bad. What's the kind of shit you got from that crowd?
Well, for one, D times D hates its own fucking characters. They literally hate their own plot. They don't even like D times D. The reason they like D times D is because it gives them the opportunity to have a harem.
Right.
That's the only reasons D times D is popular. Otherwise, because everything else can be fucked around by authors. Every single time an author is taken to remaking the Archangels, remaking the Devils in some way or the other, they've always been the most popular out there. For example, that one, Do Me Wrong.
Right. That's
the way he's portrayed like hell, all the creatures in it, it's very different from the canon thing because he's created like a kind of society that revolves around the sins.
Right.
Instead of
would make sense, being that they're devils.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this one little bit in the story where he has Bale show up.
Right.
And Zekrom Bale is supposed to be this very tight-lipped, old, serious individual, right?
I like how the story we first found was so trash, we've been on a tangent for like 20 minutes.
No, you weren't here. We moved on to interviewing Cruel Ruin about him writing. Because he wrote, like, what? 500,000 words of fiction and fan fiction before he deleted most of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's more than 500,000, yeah. So basically, Yeah, so this guy went and he just wrote a new world, basically. He just took biblical references, he took like a few creatures over and there, a little bit of a cue from D times D, the main characters, completely changed them around. And as I said, Zekram Bale, he turned him into like this doting old grandfather who's also a devious asshole on the side.
Right.
And that just, like, the way he did it, it made Zekram Bale a better character.
Yeah,
and the reason...
Honestly, I'm glad. I think that's why I like this story so much, is because he paid almost no attention to actual canon.
That, and he's probably one of the only authors who I've seen actually run a good harem. Like, the fucking females in his harem hate each other and will do anything to up each other's authority.
Yeah, no, that was actually, like, really good.
Because I am a firm believer that a good harem can be written, it's just not going to be a fun harem.
Is that which remains the new D times D story, or is that the one you deleted previously, or what's
No, that which remains is that's the Naruto Exorcist story I wanted to write.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote one chapter of it. It got pretty, like, one chapter it landed me like 500 followers, something like that, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to start over. And this one story it had potential back then, but I screwed it for metempsychosis. Right. I'm gonna try this one again. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's why it's got a second chapter. Otherwise, it would never have gotten one.
Okay. So, you mentioned that the D times D crowd was cancerous, and you talked about how they hate their own fandom a bit. But, like, were you getting threats from them, or were you just getting, like, general, oh, you should blank...
D times D is where I got the death threats from the most.
Really?
Yeah, I got one because I just refused to make Naruto fuck younger women. So in metempsychosis, Naruto was supposed to be like... Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, go on. So...
In metempsychosis, Naruto was supposed to be like... He's almost 7 centuries old.
Right.
And everybody wanted him to fuck Akeno and Rias, who were both 17 or 16, if I'm not wrong.
Right. No, I understand.
So what I'm hearing is the D times T audience is a bunch of fucking pedos.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, why do you think they love Arcia and Konika so much?
I mean, to be honest, Noah's hair. I mean, you really can't be surprised with some of the fics we've covered, where like the one Naruto fic with the 7-year-old and the 32-year-old.
I try not to remember that.
You know?
And like,
I try not to. I try to not remember that.
There's the flimsy excuse that, you know, devils will live forever and will always be in their prime, but again, that's just a flimsy excuse.
Calvin brings up a point of realism can take a back seat to fantasy when it comes to fanfic. And I think it's not so much that as there needs to be a careful balance between the two. Because when you have like too much fantasy going on of, oh, this is just going to be absolutely like fucking ridiculous levels of unbelievable, you tend to lose people.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be a limit. Like, there's a line that you can't cross. I mean.
Yeah, like, there's like, but if you get too realistic as well, you also still lose people. Because people are like, okay, well, this is boring. Especially when it comes to shit like Harry Potter. I mean, not really Harry Potter, but more like fucking
realism
high school D times D. As I've seen, realistic high school D times D. No one wants to.
Yeah, but we also
completely isn't like D times D literally the only point is that it's over the top as fuck.
Yeah,
it's over the top as fuck in technically a very like well set world. That's I think why people like it. The reason I like Issei, for example, as the main character is because he's the deconstruction of every fucking shonen anime trope.
He's
like, yeah, dude,
like, deconstruction. I don't.
Yeah, accidental. It's completely accidental. I'm pretty sure the author did not mean it at all, but it still ended up that way. Because all others, you know, all the other shonen guys will be like, yeah, my Nakama make me stronger. My fucking this makes me stronger. My belief makes you stronger. And in this one, Azal just goes like, yeah, dude, that guy can make people's boobs half, and this guy fucking goes apeshit on somebody much stronger than him. I love that.
Yeah, no, that is. Yeah, no, I understand that. So you've written a couple, you've written at least 2 Pure Ruby stories now, haven't you?
One's Pure Ruby, the other's like D times G.
Right. And, so what's the difference? Have you noticed any at all between writing a pure story versus versus a crossover story?
Yeah, honestly, this is the only pure story I've ever written till date, and it's actually more fun. And I'm not even shitting you. Like crossovers, like of course they're like this crazy world of fantasy that you can just keep on doing. Like you can keep drawing the what ifs and like the interaction and everything. It's all fun and stuff. But in this one, I'm a lot more grounded. It's like I have constraints. Sure, a lot of them can be flouted in certain ways, but I still do have them. And it's up to me to use them to make a story that nobody else has ever done before. While of course it won't get as popular as, let's say, the crossovers I wrote, the old stories I wrote,
Right.
It's still a very fun experiment because it teaches me to keep within certain limits.
Right. Right.
Sure, I took a lot of I took quite a bit of liberties with the basis of aura, but that's because I'm slowly creating my own system for that.
Right.
Because canon aura is, again,
it's the flickering shield.
It's the flickering. There's nothing more to it. It makes you stronger, faster. It don't make you blood so much. That's about it.
Yeah. So you've written for Naruto, you've written for D times D, and you've written for Ruby.
Yes.
What is the biggest problem with power scaling you've had? Because all three of those fics I've noticed have quite a problem with power scaling.
The biggest one, I believe, is D times D.
Really?
Because while it's a canon issue, because canon states that, oh yeah, all these characters can destroy nations and continents and do this and that. But when they fight, it's generally very localized. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy is going to his most powerful mode in which he's supposed to be world-destroying badass, and he does nothing.
Right.
He destroyed a school with like a beam, I guess. So, it's a difference between what you expect and what they actually give you. So I can kind of understand that, the artist couldn't draw like a fucking world-destroying scene without keeping the story going.
Right.
But even still, like it just like it's deceiving. On the other hand, Naruto is the opposite. Naruto's like they never state the power levels themselves, but like they kind of show them. For example, the gigantic Suthner, right? When that shows up, you go like, oh yeah, this is fucking powerful. This guy is fucking powerful because he's got this gigantic thing.
Right.
But that makes the fandom go like, yeah, what if this character is actually a lot more stronger than
That's where we end up with Chunin speed and as fast as Jonin speed, because nothing was really defined, but there was indicated a clear difference between.
Exactly. And because of the certain fanfics that have gotten very popular before, people expect a certain, level of power to be maintained.
Right.
But that level of power, again, varies from person to person because they've read different popular fics. And somebody who's read Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer fics, who comes to my fics, will expect a much different Naruto. Somebody who's read the Engulfing Silence fics will expect something different.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's read something by Master Athlon where he just takes Naruto, takes away all his powers, and just makes him a character of whatever verse he's put into, will expect a different Naruto again.
Fair enough. And
so while
when it comes
to all the other
Naruto,
characters from D times D have a very set personality,
right,
have a very set power scaling, have very set something, Naruto doesn't. Nobody from Naruto does.
Right. And when it comes to Ruby, though, like, I saw some difficulties. We binge watched the whole Ruby seasons, and I noticed there were some problems where we've brought this up a couple times in our normal podcast in terms of how guns suddenly stopped working as the seasons go on. And how even though these hunters in training are supposedly taking out large amounts of Grim whenever they do action scenes, somehow humanity is still losing and hunters are still dying.
Yeah.
But we never see any of those Grim. Like, how do you handle that sort of power issue? In that,
that power issue is
but at the same time not.
As you said before, like it's something created by canon. So most of the authors just go like, yeah, we're just not going to touch this and we're just going to go with the plot. Which is something I did for a first fic.
Right.
Now, some authors have definitely stepped forward and been like, yeah, the Grim are an issue because they're never ending. They know when the fuck you're at your lowest so they can attack you then. And shit like that. So that makes the Grim a threat, but again, the Huntsman thing is it's every author has a different way of dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very basic thing. It's like, yeah, whenever there's Grim, they're all canon for. Some authors don't have that. For example, Ryugi, again. I'm sorry I keep mentioning him so
much.
No,
I dislike Ryugi with what he wrote, but I can still step back and say he did write an extremely thorough story.
Yeah. And the way he made Grimm was, the Grimm near these places where the huntsmen are shown fighting them are weak Grimm, because they are near society, so they get culled, like, over time.
Right.
But the further you go from, like, major civilization hubs, the stronger they get.
Right.
And of course, Ryugi wrote his story before there was a map of Remnant out that actually, like, linked stuff. So he was able to create, like, different, like, other places that just didn't exist on the actual map.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Forbidden Continent, stuff like that. Now, most people just take this as, like, on face value, because canon actually kind of suggests this as well. The further you go from, like, actual living places, the stronger the Grimm get.
Right.
Now, I just cheaped out. That's the easiest way to explain what I did.
Fair enough. So, as far as your I almost don't want to do this, but I kind of want to ask, what's your opinion of the other famous writers of the section? So, Core, Ryugi, for the D times D section, I don't fucking know, because I don't know if there's any famous writers for that section. I mean, Angry Owl, I guess?
Owl is fun, but I would not recommend his fics to anybody.
Really?
They're good, but they're for people who've already been to the fanfic scene for a while. So they've probably already read them, so I don't need to recommend it to somebody.
Fair enough.
Like, if I was to recommend a D times D fic to somebody, I would recommend Zero, Do Me Wrong, and A Demon Amongst Devils. Especially the third one. It is written superbly. Mm-hmm. The characters actually have more than just one layer to them. And the world actually seems alive. Like, everything reacts to what this guy is doing. So yeah, that's what I'd say. On the other hand, Ruby...
Yeah, for Ruby. What's your opinions of the famous authors of Ruby? Laughing Lufo.
I love Lufo.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he went, like, no thank you after the latest season came out.
Mm-hmm.
I have something of a love-hate relationship with Core.
Fair enough.
I have told him before that his stories go literally nowhere. And he's completely okay with that, because he's writing bite-sized chunks of people to enjoy of literally anything. He just wants... If it would be up to him, he'd just make a slice of life drama.
I honestly think that's what he's been trying to do with every single one of his fics, and it kind of just gets away from him.
Yeah. But he has to put some combat in there to make the fans go like, yeah, look, your John's a badass. With him, it's like, how can I make the most amount of people enjoy this shit?
Is that really how he approaches it? Is that really how he approaches, like, every story? Is how can I make the most people enjoy it?
No, that's what he does. That's literally his job. I mean, if people read his stuff, the more the people read his stuff, the more the chances he has of getting backers on Kickstarter, or like his Patreon.
That's true enough.
So
that is true enough.
For him, it's the numbers business.
It does.
I don't
change.
think he great risks with it.
Yeah. That's true enough. It does. Well, I mean, Forged Destiny was a bit of a risk, I guess you could say.
I mean, he can always take one or two in the middle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he writes so many that he does get some leeway out of it.
Right. No,
I mean, if you can get paid to do what you write, like to do what you enjoy,
it certainly does change how you go about writing. I would say I've definitely seen authors change how they write, the length they write, how they end each chapter, depending on if they're being paid to do it or not.
Yeah, like the one I can always talk about is Engulfing Silence. His earlier fics were complete trash. They were Fate Tail Dragon Slayer level trash.
They were pretty bad, I will admit.
As he got into his later stories, like Gaia's Legendary Ascendant, which is a Final Fantasy VII story, as he got into that one, what's it called? The Sekiro fic he wrote,
right?
Which he also copied word for word from that other dude who wrote a Fate Sekiro fic and then changed shit with it.
It was Gabriel Blessing.
Yeah, the Gabriel Blessing story, like he basically took like it word for word and just changed it with Naruto.
Yeah, I know.
As that story goes through, you can actually see his entire like movement from like an amateur writer for fun into a guy who gets paid for his work.
Right. No, you definitely can. I will agree to that. You definitely can. So Calvin's asking you some questions actually here.
Hey, Calvin?
So Calvin says, what made you start writing fanfics?
I was very bored. I thought I could write because I was a part of this club in high school. And I was like, yeah, bites fucking well. That was literally the reason I started writing. There was no driving factor behind it. It was just like, yeah, I'm bored. Let's do something.
I will admit that's how I ended up writing and reading fanfic. One day I just got bored. I was like, I bet there's something out there for this.
Mm-hmm.
He also says, an ex-girlfriend of mine writes all of these fanfics that are allegories on life, wants to write deep, meaningful stuff, and my fanfic is just, hey, let's have some fun. I don't know it's not really a question, but like, what's your opinion on the two, the deep,
honestly,
meaningful fics and the silly ones?
To each his own, I guess. I could read either, but the thing is, generally people who write those deep, so meaningful fics end up so far up their asses that it's hard to fucking extricate them once they're done.
I have had conversations with authors in the past and over private messages who have certainly confirmed such statements. I will admit.
The most painful thing, though, about those so deep and meaningful fanfics is purple prose. Remember, purple prose is for chumps. Don't do it.
So you said a lot of the fics you've seen for the sections you write in were copy-paste sort of stuff, or what something gets popular and a lot of people then copy.
Well, it's like following a template, basically. I mean, sure, they have their own personal spins on everything, but it's following a template.
So I've asked this of Atin, I've asked this of Max. I don't know if you were ever there for those, but what is your biggest grievance with the Ruby section? Crossover or not?
The biggest grievance, again, I think I said it in the beginning, is the fact that every single fucking fic written for Ruby that's a crossover has to be in Beacon, has to revolve around the same fucking tired 8 people, and there's a whole new world to explore.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know enough about the world of Remnant that people can actually start branching out. But no, they want to do the same thing. Yeah, dude, I've got my Naruto. He's a Kitsune Hanyo, and he goes to Bacon because, well, he does. He just does.
Also, guys, he's totally Naruto, because look at all the ramen he eats.
Yeah, man, like, oh my god, that ramen. I mean, he's been ramen for 10 years now, but they don't serve it here. So he started his own ramen shop.
That is something I've seen a couple times.
Yes, exactly. I have seen it too. That's why I mentioned it.
So as far as the non-crossover section goes, what's your biggest grievance there? I don't mean like template. I mean
which one?
In the non-crossover section for Ruby. Like, what's your biggest grievance that's not, you know, template-y sort of complaint? Like, is it like the grammar you see? Is it the certain way you see a certain character portrayed?
See, I can't really comment about the grammar because any single fucking fandom you pick up in this planet will have those like horrible first-time writers or third language writers or stuff like that. Because that's something I can't complain about. Because I've just come to expect it as an inevitability. It's gonna happen. It's a thing. The thing that pisses me off, though, about the Ruby section, and actually properly pisses me off, is, again, the lack of people wanting to adventure, to make something new. It's the same 4 fics written by Core that everybody wants to have a little chunk of.
I'll give you that. Or alternatively, you get the, for some reason, Grim John or something like that, and it's just complete cringe where John creates a massive harem.
Yes, that kind. Those are different. Those are like, I want to make a LeFaux fic, but I want to make it serious.
I want to make it cringier.
And cringier, and have you pull it up on this stream and put the edgelord banner on top.
Yeah, no, we do end up doing that quite often.
And like, people, like, as I said before, some people do try to experiment, but they're just not given any love. Like, I read this beautiful fic which had like exactly 3 followers, and it was well written. It was a story about that one dude from Sun's team called Sage. And it was very well written. It was like, right. That character, like, he's got, like, the way that character is built, nobody knows anything about him.
Right.
But his skin color, clothing, and everything is different from pretty much every character in the series.
Right.
So this guy picked him up and went like, what kind of background would this guy come from? And he created a pretty nice like beginning for this guy. And it was one chapter, 10,000 words long. It stayed up on the channel for like what I believe. It stayed up on the thing for about like a week or two. And then the person deleted it. I messaged them asking why they do that. He's like, oh, nobody read it. That was the only answer. Nobody read it at all. They were 3 people and they were all this person's friends.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's willing to try anything out of the old broken John fic. Or my Ruby went back into the past and now she's doing jack squat.
No, I definitely can agree with that author. It's something I've seen in the Dark Souls section. I'm going to bring this up because the Dark Souls story that I've written is everyone loves to point out, why can't I take the ring with me, or whatever the fuck that fic is called. Fuck that guy. We have beef with each other.
Gensh or Gensh.
Yeah, we ended up releasing our fics at around the same time. And we both had the same sort of idea of like, what if we just weren't, railroaded by the game?
Yeah.
And his story is obviously massively popular. I mean, obviously because he updated his story quite often.
Very much. Yeah, that's what I was going to point out. The reason that your story didn't make it in his, literally because he updated everything.
No, but see, the thing is that he in the time period that we were updating, and we were updating, fairly like once a month with 20k-ish chapters, so it wasn't like we were slacking in the word count comparatively to him. We were pretty much neck and neck every time we updated. But people loved his story a lot more, I guess, because it was just.
It was wish fulfillment. It was everything.
Yeah, it was more wish fulfillment.
And then some.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I prefer your story to his story, and I would have never given your story a chance if I didn't one day just stumble on the stream.
I mean, that's fair enough.
And I'm glad I did.
I mean...
now, the thing about Gensh...
Fuck that guy.
No, the thing about Gensh, like that dude, is that he kind of created a fucking empire out of one story.
He did.
He took over all the Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and I think he even did one for Demon Souls. Not very sure about that one though.
Maybe.
Yeah, but basically he created like this entire thing, this blanket fanfiction arc that kind of covered all of them. And now when somebody goes to Dark Souls, the first few fics he sees are Gensh fics. And he just goes like, yeah, I pretty much read all there is to read in the section. Not realizing that as you go further down, things get better, not worse.
Yeah, no, it is a bit unfortunate. It's a small community, so when a decently popular fic like his comes out, everyone does what everyone else does in every other section and copies him, except for the part where there's a small community, so there's not that many fics, but now they're all copies of the popular one.
Yep. Because his fic has been copied so many times at this point. Because that's the obvious like plot anybody jumps to when they go to a Dark Souls section. They look at the game and they go like, what if I did this like this and this like this and this like this? And inevitably, the way the game's built, there's only 2 alternatives to pretty much everything. And the other one is the funnier one.
Fair enough.
You have like, and then there's like certain things that of course like differentiate the fics. Like you've got Havel doing stuff. He had this dude doing stuff. I forgot his name. Yeah, whatever. He made like a dude. And Oscar doing stuff. And yours has like, yours has the main character who's got no semblance of herself, but has something more to offer. His protagonist is just a dude who really likes faith builds for some reason.
I will admit, I really should get that Latin the next chapter out because that really actually fleshes out the main character's personality.
Yep.
All right. So, final question before we move on to more trash fic. I see our audience is getting a bit antsy. Yeah. So Ruby season 5.
Did you even watch it?
Really? Did not watch it at all.
I just read the fucking wikis. I could not get myself to watch.
Really?
What didn't you watch?
You didn't watch season 5.
No, you think season 5 is the only one I didn't watch? I watched 2 episodes of season 4.
Okay, season 4 is
Season 4 is a thing.
I can't fault you for not
Season 4 was just lore dump and nothing else happened. So I don't blame you.
Hey,
Yo,
Sneak.
let me just
Lovely as
dump.
always, fellas. Anyway, ignoring
Let's go to
Orange.
Trash Fix.
No, I saw quite a number of popular authors, and maybe not some less popular authors. Stop their fix, declaring season 5 to be the reason why. Would you do you see where they're coming from as a big time Ruby writer?
I don't care, man. My entire I all I need from the lore is how the world is built. What the fuck? Everybody does, and I'm golden. I just
Malore.
make something like that. If something goes wrong,
I think everyone just quit because A, Blake is now confirmed to not be their like gay Yas queen.
yes.
And B, they made John not have an OP as fuck aura like everyone wants him to have.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Oh,
I love
it's
the
a horror.
author of
It's a
Silver's response to that. I don't know. You read that story, right, Kilm?
I haven't read for quite a while though.
Okay, so the author of Silver, if you've read Silver, you'll know that's basically John's semblance is that got revealed in canon, as was what Silver was saying for quite a long time now.
Did you think Silver's the one? Have you read that? There's another fic. I think it's by LaFoe.
No, I've read that one as well. But Silver
literally
was
John's
updated.
entire thing was, Seed of the Rebellion, something like that, right? And John's entire thing was, oh yeah, I make other shit more powerful with my aura. That's literally his thing.
Yep.
He couldn't fight for shit though.
Oh shit! No, I actually know what story you're talking about. Fuck.
Seed of the Rebellion, John of the Rebellion, something like that.
No. I think we might be thinking of different stories. But anyway, Silver's author at the end of the finals author's note of the most recent chapter was, "Gee, John's canon semblance is empowerment and aura manipulation. Who could have guessed that one?" Alright, so let's move on to actually insulting more fan fiction. So let's see what we got here. We got Naruto and Halo. We got some Warhammer Ruby.
Don't even touch Halo.
Ruby. I want to know, like, we've talked so much about Ruby, D times D, and Naruto right now that I think those are what you should cover today.
Alright, let's go with Uncle Rose, a Naruto Ruby cross.
What?
I regret our decision immensely.
Yes, I do. Suddenly, instant karma.
Instant karma. This is what you get. How about the Star Trek? Oh, how about the Star Trek fanfic I keep bringing up? Fair enough. I'll cover that before you leave.
Do any of us actually know? Oh wait, you know Star Trek. Right?
I know like 2 episodes of Star Trek, and this was mostly just here to make Calvin himself cringe in pain. Because this is a Star Trek Next Generation Portal crossover.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh baby, what are you doing?
What's it?
The best in space. The crew of the USS Enterprise, during a lull in their adventures, comes across an artifact of Earth's past. What secrets does it hold, and what dangers? Wesley Crusher drummed his fingers on the smooth console of the con and watched the stars drift by through the main view screen. He tapped a small icon in the corner, bringing up his duty calendar. Only 3 more hours to go in his shift, and they were going to go by just as slowly as the previous 2 had. He itched to call up a game, or a book, or something, but Commander Riker had drummed into him the need to be vigilant when on duty, ready for anything to happen. And since Riker was sitting in the captain's chair at the moment, there'd be no slacking off for Wesley today. Nothing was happening. It was true the Enterprise saw more action than most ships in the Starfleet, and he looked forward to regaling his classmates at the academy someday. Most of the time, it was like
Shut
this,
the fuck up, Wesley.
Dull, monotonous, unending.
Wow, this person loves run-on sentences. loves them.
Why do you think I said shut the fuck up, Crusher?
Never
Data,
Fucking
end.
he
bitch.
said, you are so lucky you don't know what it's like to be bored. Data turned in his seat at the ops console and gazed at Wesley with those unblinking yellow eyes. That is true, Wesley, but I have heard that there is a saying from Earth. Only boring people are bored. He cocked his head. Perhaps you can find a way to keep your mind busy that does not interfere with your duties. Like what?
I mean, I like this already because Data's just fucking telling Wesley Crusher to fuck off. And there needs to be more of that.
I run tests on certain mathematical models investigating the effects of different variables to see what the outcome is. Wesley sighed. I don't think I can do that, Data, he said. Well, perhaps you can. He was cut off by a quiet tone from his console. His fingers danced across the panel, bringing up a streaming lines of code. Commander, he said, turning around to face Riker. Sensors have picked up what seems to be a probe or satellite, about 100 kilometers off the port bow. Riker stood up to get a better look at Data's console. Any idea what it is? He asked. No, sir, Data
Data's
said.
a dude?
Huh?
Data's a person? This Data thing, is that a person? Item?
It's an AI person.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I thought there's a dude named Data. His parents was really
Is
amazing.
there something in this day and age who doesn't know who Data is?
Yes, it's an Indian.
Yeah, there are
Why are you
there are
surprised?
quite a few people who don't know who Data is, my dude.
Yep. We never had Star Trek in India, so yeah.
Wait, what's wrong with Pooh and Lou Land?
We never had Star Trek there.
You didn't miss out anything. It's
Well, I can only,
communist, it's
tell
communist
you-
propaganda cancer, honestly.
It's called the gay space communism, my dude.
Oh,
Get it right.
And watch the next generation like now.
That's just Michael Bay cancer.
We don't talk about Michael Bay cancer.
Michael Bay.
Okay then, Riker said. Beam it aboard, full quarantine. He glanced down at Wesley. Ensign Crusher, since you're in need of something to occupy yourself, why don't you come with me? Wesley straightened in his seat. Are you sure, sir? He asked. He didn't want to sound too eager. It wouldn't be unlike Commander Riker to try and pull one over on him. This is just so mind-numbingly boring.
You know what the worst part is? I just realized about the Michael Bay, J.J. Abrams trash Star Trek.
Yeah.
We're gonna get one with Picard soon,
Yeah.
and that saddens me.
Yeah. For real cancer, read Voltron. Oh god, no. Voltron
It is
itself
stupidly
is
big on
cancer.
Tumblr right now.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I mean, I've heard it's a good series.
It's not.
It's
It's
not?
boring, basic, and just imagine Power Rangers but bad and anime.
Blah blah blah.
That doesn't
blah,
sound
we found the
awful.
probe, blah blah blah. This is filthy.
With SJW stuff mixed in. Lots of SJW stuff mixed in. Oh, and boys love.
Oh, of course. What's wrong? Until now, it's not that bad. Until now, it's just people sitting there talking to each other. I don't. There's a reason why I didn't like Star Trek. It's because of the whole slow build up there. There's something wrong. What's the thing wrong? I don't know. Let's check out the thing that is wrong. Okay, we're checking out the thing that is wrong. There is clearly something wrong. You're right. There is something wrong.
I mean, that just sounds like 80s anime, and that sounds like
How
a
can we
fucking great
fix
time.
this wrong thing? Do we need to fix wrong thing? I think we might need to fix wrong thing. We don't need to fix wrong thing. Oh man, we need to fix wrong thing. Oh shit, you're right. We need to fix wrong thing before wrong thing kills us all.
I'm actually trying to read this on my fucking thing, and it's so fucking dry. And there's like the wall of text as well in the middle.
It literally,
there
this entire section here can be summarized with, we brought the probe in, it's currently doing nothing.
Yep.
The real reason this thing is so boring is Someone had an idea, oh, what if the crew of the Next Generation picked up Wheatley? And then, oh, I need to pad this so that it looks like a Next Generation episode.
Did I really watch more than 2 minutes of Star Trek? I watched about 10 minutes of Star Trek.
My, you made it further than I did.
Yeah. I mean, half of those minutes is the Shut Up Wesley video.
I misclicked on it on Netflix once, but then I was like, you know what? I believe I need like a PhD in the old series to understand the new series.
You kind of do.
I've never seen the old series because I said
you need 200 IQ.
You see, you need a high IQ to understand the subtleties of Star Trek. You need to read works like Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged and other such higher thinking works.
Why is that book? All the books you could have mentioned.
It was the first thing that popped into my mind, my dude.
Why would you think Reddit would like that show? I mean, that book. Why did I say show? God damn it.
Because it's basically a show and tell of how to be a fucking jackass.
Because it's uncapped cancer and it's easy to make
capitalist
fun of.
society.
But my Bioshock.
Shock, my buy a hole infinitely.
Anyway, so yeah, that's this boring ass. Oh boy, it's aperture silence. Science.
Oh, it's completed.
Oh,
it's a completed fic.
Blah blah. Look, it's super easy to power up. Wow, fucking Christ! It took several paragraphs. Okay, it took from here all the way down to here just to say, we found the power source. Do you want to power it up? Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, look, I like brevity in certain parts, and I like things being expanded in other parts. I understand you want to set up a good... And by the way, it's not Wheatley that got brought on the ship, it's the Spaceball.
Spaceballs?
I like it when authors expand upon certain things and take their time talking about things and showing interactions between characters. But if your big reveal is it's the space ball, guess what he's gonna say a bunch? Space. It fucking like. I realize it's only like a 2K. It's only a 7K long story.
Yeah, it's completed.
If it takes you 2K words to get to the point where the space ball just saying space a bunch.
Calvin, don't do that. It is actually best to just say we found the thing and power it up.
This was
unless you're writing, let's say, like a physics document about the thing. Yeah.
We could do we found the thing and powered it up, but that's boring to you. That's fair enough. Everyone's taste is different, and obviously you all know my taste at this point. But I'm just saying, if you're writing a crack story in which the Star Trek crew finds Spaceball.
Isn't it the space...
Space sphere.
Yeah, it's a sphere. It's not a ball.
Whatever. If that's your basis of story, if that's like, hey guys, this is gonna be a good old funny story with Space Corps and then Wesley talking to each other. Really, I don't see why we need 2,000 words to get to that point. Like, if you're writing a crack story, maybe going into the deep interactions between the people on board Star Trek, Fleet, Command, Enterprise thing. Maybe just,
That's like writing. Like, have you read Douglas Adams' writing, right?
Douglas Adams?
Yeah, he wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes, I have read that. Yep.
So the way he writes is pretty fucking direct, but it's still funny. He doesn't need to go and over-embellish everything.
Yeah, he's funny.
The only reason he does some over-embellishing stuff is because it provides some comedic effect. Right. Even then, he doesn't dwell on something for like 3 paragraphs before realizing, oh, it's got an on switch.
Right, exactly. I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit does a excellent. Are we
talking about the movie or the book?
The movie and the book.
Okay.
because the movie was actually fucking above and beyond, like the kind of work that it took to make that sort of movie was ridiculous. Despite whatever your opinion on the actual result was. But it does make a good point in certain points, like Roger Rabbit takes his hand out of the cuffs in that one scene. And the guy goes, "What? You could have taken your hand out of the cuffs at any time?" And Roger Rabbit responds with, "No, just when it was funny." And that's the point of humor. It's supposed to set up a scene, give the punchline, and be funny. It's not supposed to, like, take a fucking seven paragraphs to explain the punchline, and then at the end you're like, wow, thanks.
It's also not really supposed to make sense in terms of the story, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, it can.
The whole point is, aren't they, like, supposed to be, like, not directly involved in our own world? Like, isn't that half the point of the story?
Well, I mean, you can just say Space Corps drifted out into the fucking void of space and Enterprise happened to be passing by it or something. Like, there's so many reasons you can use to just excuse the setup to it. But the real point at the end of the day is if you're trying to set up a good, funny punchline or interaction between two characters, explaining the interaction that's about to take place, it kind of kills the joke.
It's tell, don't show, effectively. That's what I'm hearing from you.
I mean, it's sort of like fucking Dio and JoJo. Like, I don't even know much about it, but I've seen some of the videos of their interactions. They'd be like if fucking the narrator sat there and just talked about the previous interactions of Dio and JoJo and why they were like this with each other every single fucking time the two showed up on screen.
I mean, that's just the first season, so yeah.
Yeah.
First season was more Fist of the North Star than it was its own thing.
This ad has already given me cancer. Yeah.
And
so
I will admit, as much as I like Fist of the North Star, it certainly has its share of problems.
Yeah, it does indeed. Anyway, so woo! Let's get to it. Okay, so this is Uncle Rose, the Naruto Ruby Cross that you all dreamed of. After the loss of his older sister, Naruto slowly descended into the depths of solitude and pushed everyone away from him. However, after his last mission not going exactly as planned, Naruto realizes there are enemies in the shadows everywhere. Now he must forget his pain from the past and forge forward to protect his sister's legacy. Silver Sharingan. Did everyone needs to go see a doctor after reading that summary out loud? Because I believe you all now have ear cancer. I very much apologize for this. I've just recently started watching Ruby, and I absolutely loved it. Especially this last season finale. When did they start? 16th? 16th. That was season 3's finale? No, is that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Fucking you useless. Zex, are you there? You're good, you're there. Are you an expert on Ruby dates?
I'm kind of there, but not exactly. What are you asking again?
Ruby. What was 2016? That was season 3? The end of season 3? 2016?
I'm very ashamed, but I haven't watched Ruby past season 2.
I don't blame you in the slightest.
It is trash. We all know it to be trash, but we watch it anyway.
Yeah. Especially this last. It was. Oh, he's gonna spoil. I was gonna spoil it, but I'll be nice to my readers because apparently people reading the Ruby section haven't read or seen Ruby before. Instead, you should check it out for yourself and give me your opinion on it. Anyways, I got the idea of writing this fanfic after I did research on Ruby's mother and the reveals in the season 3. Okay, so it was season 3. Season 3 finale.
Wait, research on her mother. We know nothing about her mother.
Yeah, we know zero fucking shit about Ruby's mom besides she's dead, she had silver eyes, Spin liked her, and she got passed around like a cheap whore amongst her team. At least that's the fanon part. As well,
yeah, that's only fanon. I'm fairly certain only Crow knocked that up.
Surprised, to be honest, that there is not a lot of fics that work with somehow
like
miraculously her surviving.
I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. It's shit, I'll still watch it. Fuck you, Calvin. As well, I was a bit inspired by Uncle Crow's relation to Yang, and thought, why can't Ruby have a kick-ass blood-related uncle? Just a quick heads up, the battle in this chapter was heavily Naruto-inspired from a certain movie involving a certain duck-haired man. Die Naruto fans will know what I'm talking about. Line! White specks drizzled down from the gray skies and noiselessly made its way to the ground. Snow covered the cliffside of a large forest, indicating the change of seasons. The cliffside itself was enormous in space and towered over another forest below. On that very cliffside, the white blanket that covered the land was stained in blood. Corpses of Beowulfs were scattered across the open space, with its blood pouring out of its bodies. A silver-eyed girl dressed in a black blouse, a black waist clincher with red lacing, and a black skirt with red trimmings, complete with a red cloak, was fighting on that cliff. The girl moved rapidly through a pack of Beowulfs, killing them one by one. She moved gracefully, as if she was performing some type of dance. Her black hair with red tints fluttered in the air. She spun through the air with an enormous red scythe in her hands. She would point the end of her scythe towards one of the wolves and pull the trigger. A dust shell was spit out from her scythe, revealing the high-powered rifle hidden in the weapon. Using the recoil from her weapon, she repositioned herself to cut off the head of another Beowulf. Not too far from her stood a blonde-haired man who hid the bottom half of his face with a black cloak with a red cloud gathered across it. However, the cloak failed to hide the tears that streamed down the man's face. The silver-eyed man was paralyzed as he watched the younger girl dispose of all the Beowulfs. His right hand was clenched tightly to the roses he was holding, and all he could do was stare.
What?
Naruto is apparently part of the Akatsuki, and he's got the silver Sharingan. Why not? Let's just disregard all of Naruto to insert a character that we call Naruto. Hey, on the bright side though, Chrysanthemum, don't worry. There's gonna be no mention of blue eyes in this story, so we got that YA locked down tight.
And why are the Beowulfs bleeding?
Oh, because for dramatic tension. Duh! I really hope Ruby isn't Naruto's girlfriend in this, being that he's also her uncle.
That face put incest.
I mean, that would be some serious YA going on, at least modern YA, so sure. Chrysanthemum does bring up a good point. Even if it's not YA because of the Harold Hoytler, blue eyes, blonde haired main character, It's certainly YA in the description that's being dropped in there. Summer, uttered the man to himself as he watched the girl finally kill all the Beowulfs. His eyes wouldn't budge as an apparition of a similar-looking woman hovered beside the girl. It was almost as if he was staring at an old picture. The girl had noticed him and was now staring at him, curious as to who could be all the way out here with her. She failed to notice the not-too-dead Grim right behind her. The man's silver eyes flashed to life, noticing the Grim behind her. 3 black Tomo appeared in the center of his pupil. 3 Tomo appeared in the center of his pupil.
I just read the wiki page on what coma are, and I don't know what they actually are. The writing sentence.
In the center of his pupil.
What is physics?
Do I have to get an eye diagram? If we get an eye diagram, just up here, so I can point this shit. So pupil is that thing, the center thing, the black dot. An iris is the color of your eyes. So 3 Tomo appearing in the center of your pupil looks like a pupil!
Yes. I see we are now doing biology.
So a Tomo... Oh, fucking... Why is there a character called Tomo? God fucking damn it.
Doesn't it just mean comma?
So it's some fancy Japanese word that I don't fucking know. But this is basically what a Tomo looks like when it's in the Sharingan eye, right?
It's basically a comma.
So
right?
it's a comma. No, it's like an upside down apostrophe that appears in the iris of the Sharingan. And so take this Tomo, you put them in the fucking iris, which is the black dot in your eye.
Oh, Tomo means hoping or wishing, apparently. And it's the symbol that's the comma.
Right. Yeah, so you put that in the black fucking dot of your eye. Oh, you got a black eye still. Nothing changed. Tomo appearing in your pupil means nothing.
But my 11th grade biology class told me something about pupils and that they're cool.
Yeah, dude. They called me a pupil once. And I was like, yeah.
They called me a pupil once.
They fucking
you piece of shit.
Also, minor tangent. Sneaky, it's 20 minutes. I have 40 int as silencer. What the fuck is going on?
What are you playing?
He's playing.
I'm playing a silencer.
Ooh. Well, that's what you get for picking silencer, really.
The fuck you got against silencer?
I fucking love silencer. I pick it whenever the enemy team picks an OD. I'm like, fuck you.
Anyway.
Instant pick. Like, I don't even care if my team already has fucking chords and chat play as a support. But you bring a fucking OD to a table, I'm bringing my silencer.
Anyway. 3 black Tomo appeared in the center of his pupil. From the man's perception, the world suddenly became black and white. So he turned into a fucking dog?
Yep.
And time had stopped. You want to say it, Ricky?
No.
It's Theo's. Time has stopped. He said it every time.
I know it's from JoJo, dude. That fucking.
He concentrated his vision on the corpse beside the living Beowulf, and
it's
suddenly...
still a super. Yeah, it's just a fucking. I normally don't do it, but this just felt like a good moment. It's super fucking old meme.
And suddenly the world started to move again. Time is now moving again. However, in his spot was a corpse of a dead Grim, and now he was standing beside the danger behind the girl. Not wait. Okay, so he has teleportation swap power. Fucking.
What are you reading right now?
No, what he probably did was he stopped time, and then proceeded to do something that he thought was cool.
Of course.
Wait, you haven't linked this one.
He teleports
wait,
behind the
no.
Beowulf. Nothing personal, Beowulf.
Nani?
Fucking Arn. Oh, we're about to see the glorious Nippon Steel in a second.
I was here.
Haha, so funny. Read the fucking manga.
Steel Ball Run will never get an anime.
Why must you hurt me this way?
Now, wait
Why
a
must you hurt me
second.
this way?
The man revealed an orange sheath katana-like sword. Katana-like sword. Katana-like sword.
One.
Fucking end me. I'm done.
No, they've somehow managed every one of the, like, you know, there's a list of shit you should not do. They've managed to take every single one of it. And did he actually, like, he actually left? Are you breaking stuff, Sneaky?
No,
Is that what I'm breaking about this?
I'm not breaking anything.
God damn it. Could have gone viral instantly.
No, one of these days, though, you will just hear me slam the door and then a gunshot will follow.
And Sneaky was no more.
He pulled the blade out and revealed its black beauty.
Jesus Christ.
Glorious Nippon Steel.
Does he also have two guns named Ebony and Ivory?
Fucking maybe at this point. Also, yeah, I did slam the door.
Well done. Oh, boy.
Okay. To the world by sinking deep into the grim skull. The girl who had been standing beside him turned around and stumbled back at his sudden appearance. She was quick to look up and stare the back of the blonde-haired man, not getting a good look at his face.
That went a place I didn't expect it to.
What do you mean?
You know, I just realized that JoJo probably has a lot of fanfics, and now I'm checking that shit out.
Don't. It's a bunch of gay fics.
It's really bad.
Oh, I should have expected.
It has more fangirls than Kingdom Hearts does. It's
Whoa, that is problematic. Excuse me.
In a world where joy.
I will say this about my fandom: it's just a bunch of fucking. Ever since, well, I guess even before the anime, just after the anime, just like all Tumblr fangirls.
Is that fucking fem? Yeah, that is femdio. Fuck.
Oh yeah, femdio's a
thing. To be
thing.
fair, Pillarmen.
Yeah, well, yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
Anyway.
I mean, I've seen some pretty good female Dio pics, I'm not gonna lie.
I know, I saw one right now.
There's some really good ones.
No,
who are you? Stuttered the girl as she stared at the Batman's back in awe. Never having seen someone move faster than her. Unknown to the girl, the black tomos in the man's eye had disappeared. Well, they weren't fucking apparent in the first place because they were in his pupil. He didn't turn around and kept himself still. Nothing personal, kid.
Nothing personal, kid.
For a moment, he thought about not replying back at all and just walking away like the cool man he was.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
A sad smile appeared on his face as he realized how sad the situation was.
This has to be a parody, right?
No.
It looks like one. It fucking feels like
11
one.
was the best doctor. I won't hear any discrepancy otherwise.
This is heresy.
Oh, Doctor Who, okay.
11th Doctor? Yeah.
Would Summer hate him?
Which one was 11?
Tenet, I believe.
It was Tenet. Tenet was the best Doctor.
I thought Tenet was 10. I mean, 10, so yeah.
No.
No, wait, 10 was Eccleston, right?
What?
No, 10 was the biker doctor or something.
Yeah, that was, I think that was Eccleston. I'm pretty sure that was Eccleston.
It doesn't matter
also...
because Tenet was.
He was not bad at all.
Get the fuck out, Calvin.
What the fuck? The 10th Doctor was great.
Yeah, he was actually pretty fucking good. He had the most maniacal
Wait,
ever.
we're thinking of it wrong.
Yeah, the 10th was Tenet because 10, and that's what I remember.
10 was Tenet, okay.
9th.
Yes.
Correction then, you'll have to excuse me, I've had some vodka.
I haven't watched Doctor Who in years.
Same.
Mostly because the 11th and 12th Doctors weren't that good.
Apparently they have a female doctor now.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. That's political and that would make Twitch ban me. I'm not even kidding about that one.
Of course you're not.
Didn't Summer teach you any manners? Lectured the blonde-haired man. You're supposed to give your own name before asking someone else's. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my god.
Summer?
Why did I just hear a random British voice? Hello?
Didn't Summer teach you any manners?
Asked the girl, as she looked a bit surprised at the mention of her mother. You mean my mother? Wait a minute, how do you know my... She wasn't able to finish. The man in front of her suddenly moved, leaving nothing but green leaves in his place. The girl once again left dumbfounded, and quickly looked around her. That's when she saw the man far off in the distance, standing in front of an altar at the edge of the cliff. Her mother's altar. She ran across the clearing as fast as she could, but her efforts were futile. When she reached the man, he had turned around and frozen her in place. She stared into his silver eyes, and for a moment she held her breath. Then the man disappeared, once again leaving nothing but healthy green leaves on the cold winter ground. The girl looked down at the grave and looked at the familiar bouquet of red roses. They were the same red roses that were always there when she came to visit. The silver-eyed girl reached out for one of the green leaves and held it in her hand. It's you.
Oh boy, they gave him the Katsuki cloak.
Yeah, I told you, he's got the fucking Akitsuki cloak.
And silver eyes, black dragon.
Am I already drunk? It's like fucking an hour and 30 minutes in. It's a Friday. Am I already drunk?
Well, it could get much worse. You would get more drunk.
I am well on my way to that point.
I'm making a tower of beer cans.
Anyway. Leaving the fresh scent of peppermint on her pillow.
Peppermint.
A blonde-haired man wearing the black cloak with scattered red clouds sat in a bar. He sat at the bar on a wood stool, as opposed to the metal stool next to him.
It's the Black Swordsman. It's Kirito.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly Kirito appears. A new challenger approaches.
Because this story is trash enough to not use guts and instead use Kirito.
A new challenger approaches.
Kirito's a real black swordsman. If you say no, you are a guy and bad.
Now, I will admit, fucking hell, what's his name is actually a really, really good,
Who were you about to say? Choose your next words very carefully.
Very careful.
Hold on, I got it here. Saint Infernal Neos. He does really good Sword Art Online fics.
I've never. Are they like SAO only, or are they like?
Well, his best ones are One Punch Gamer.
Oh yeah, I've read that one.
Which is really fucking good. Lucius Nature and Requiem Universis.
The fuck does Lucis Nature mean, and why does that sound so fucking pretentious?
Because it means freak of nature in Greek.
And
we all know the Greeks were super fucking pretentious.
True that, yeah. I know CO. The fuck's CO?
I don't fucking know, man. Anyway, so very good fix. Like, also incredibly long. One Punch Gamer is 500,000 words long. Its ongoing sequel right now is already at 116k. Universus is at 250k, and Lucis is 140k almost. They are very funny and very well written in terms of characterization fix. The author handles the Sao arcs very well. And honestly, it does Sao justice, which is what the light novels were doing, not what the anime was doing.
Oh, so you've actually read the light novels?
I have read the light novels.
Wow, fucking weeb.
Shut the fuck out. What the fuck do you think I do in my spare time? I read fanfiction, I read light novels, I watch anime. Excuse me while I weep about my word count. You want to weep about word count? You want to weep about word counts?
Mate, I've deleted more words than you've written.
Fucking hell. Okay, come on. There we go.
That's not even a lie.
No, probably.
I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
You want to weep about word count? Behold my favorites list. Ashes of the Past, 1.6 million. Misplaced, 1.1 million. God-Slaying Bladeworks, 1.1 million. Fate's Gamble, 900,000.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
From the Ashes, nearly 900,000. Also, highly recommend. It is a massive Fallout Mass Effect crossover. Earth the King has also written a Halo Mass Effect crossover. Finished. Roughly that length as well. Very good. Fucking holy shit. If you wanted to ever see a Halo Mass Effect cross that was completed and long, read it, because god damn, son.
And if you want some real trash, go read the fucking Pantheon fanfictions.
What's that?
You know TV tropes?
Yep.
They have a whole section where they just like make their own stories based on all the characters were actually just gods in the pantheon.
Oh,
yeah,
like
it's really good.
That sounds horrible.
Arn does bring up a good point as well. Lupine Horrors, nearly 1 million word fic, which actually goes over the 1 million word mark if you count his sequel, was written in roughly a span of a year.
Same thing with the Ryugi's again, I mean.
So he wrote about 10 books in a year.
I mean, yeah, I mean, what do you expect from, like, honestly, there's so many fanfics that are, like, they write so much that if they put this much work into, like, an actual fiction, even after deleting and rewriting, they'd end up with something of a fucking goldmine of book.
And if anyone ever wanted to read a Mass Effect Deus Ex crossover, you have to read Mass Effect Human Revolution. I say you have to read it. Not because it's good. It is. Not because it's long. It is. Not because it continuously updates. It does. But because it is written by one of the main writers of Mass Effect... it's written by one of the main writers of Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Ooh.
Ignis Dai is one of the main writers for a lot of popular series. So, you know...
That's the beauty of fanfiction, right? Like, people actually scout you from here. And that's not even a joke.
He began as a concept artist for Homeworld. He also does... he was on the successful spot of Deus Ex Human Revolution, Sins of a Solar Empire, and Xenonauts.
Yep.
So... So, you know, if you ever want to read a story written by a professional writer and concept artist, well, here you go.
Service this smile by Corderon.
Yeah, I've actually enjoyed that so far. Gabriel's Blessing, here we go. That's at 760k.
I love Gabriel Blessing, but I've only spoken to the person once in my fucking life. And then they
What?
just stopped fanfiction altogether.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, there was. Yeah, thankfully they completed the most important stories, in my opinion, In Flight and Hill of Swords.
Yep. In Flight was so well written.
A lot of people give Gabriel Blessing shit for their work, and it's just like, it's not deserved. Gabriel Blessing did actually very high quality work with the shit they were handed.
Yeah, and then like the worst thing about like at least my favorites list is the fact that most of the fucking fics that I actually like are never going to be updated again.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, that is very unfortunate. I have found quite a number of fics where I was like, oh, this is a really awesome idea. And it gets like 60k words in. I'm like, oh boy, this is getting good. And it never fucking updates again. Almost like my Dark Souls fic.
Yeah, it reminds me of.
It's your karma. It's your karma.
It is.
It's because like, you don't update.
The second I update my Dark Souls fic, my entire favorites list is gonna update. I just feel it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. Okay, honestly, that happened to me once. The dude who wrote that Demon Amongst Devil fic.
Yeah.
There was a point when I had taken a 3-month hiatus from writing, and I came back with the like chapter for the anomalous one, and that same fucking day, mere minutes after I fucking updated the fic, new chapter for Demon Amongst Devils. After a fucking year of nothing.
Don't you know? He was waiting for you, my dude.
He's never read anything I've written, never replied to my PMs. He does not love me.
He was waiting for you. He is senpai and he noticed you.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway.
Yes!
His eyes looked down at the green crystal that should not have been there, hanging from around his neck with a hint of sadness and regret. A chime rang through the bar as the door was suddenly opened, unlike doors not being opened to a bar. The man listened intently as heavy footsteps could be heard making its way across the bar. The man in the stool sighed as he was quick to recognize the sound of the steps. He closed his eyes, hoping that it was a mere coincidence that they were there. Both to his right and his left, the seats were quick to be occupied. Its new inhabitants made themselves comfortable. Silence was followed as the two people sat next to the blonde-haired man. The man finally opened his eyes and took a deep sigh. Tai Yang, Crow, what do you old geezers want with me? Injected the blonde-haired man as he quickly glanced at the two men. The blonde-haired man, repetitive usage of the word, you can't just fucking say Naruto. No, even though we all know it's fucking Naruto. You gotta go full YA with this and go, the blonde-haired man, the black-cloaked man, the man with silver eyes.
He will learn. He will learn. That's something that almost every fucking major author has complained about some point that they've done this. Like, I believe this exact conversation I've had with
Look, the first chapter of Dark Souls fic made me want to kill myself after having written it. From the sheer amount of times I had to use anything but their name because they didn't have a name yet.
Yep. That's the worst bit. You like whenever you have like this multiple character thing, like they all show up and you have no idea who the fuck any of them are. That's the worst bit.
I despise it when authors do it, specifically because, hey, this is fan fiction. We all fucking know who these people are, especially if we're gonna jump straight into it. You know, like not the beginning of Naruto. Like I could excuse there's the start of Ruby, the start of Naruto, like them not knowing who Ozpin was, so they describe Ozpin, and he goes, "Oh, hi, I'm Ozpin," and they start using Ozpin from then on. Because, like, okay, it's sort of like from over the shoulder of the characters there, so they're just learning the name, so we just learn the name. Fair enough. I completely accept that. But if we're going to do this whole, oh, he's a mysterious, blonde-haired man with a green crystal, wearing the Akutsuki cloak with whisker marks on his face. Who could it possibly be?
We just don't know.
How could we ever know? We were not gifted with clairvoyance at birth.
Some people.
But yeah, like I mean, I do that to a certain extent, but I just go like, yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes. At this point, everybody fucking knows who it is.
Did you know he eats ramen?
No, but that like it's okay if you do that when you're doing like a first-person perspective and this character actually shows into scene.
Yeah.
It's not cool if you're doing it like a third person and you just go like, oh yes, it's a mysterious character that none of us know who he is. Because first person, you kind of have to like write what the character is thinking, right?
Right. Well, see, that's what I always find the problem with it. It's actually one of the reasons why we originally tried to do the Dark Souls story in a first person from Valkyrie's perspective. But the main problem became is that I don't think in my head. I think out loud, and so I can't really like imagine characters.
You're a dumbass, but sure.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty fucking dumb. And I can't write characters that think in their heads because of that, because I don't know how you would go about doing that. So I couldn't write it, you know?
Okay.
And so
that makes perfect sense. It's just like for the Ruby fic that I'm writing right now, there's a first fic I've written in like a first person perspective, and I find it easier to write in a first person perspective because you don't have to talk about every single character.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. But
instead of explaining how they think, you just keep quickly like switching between them. You go like, oh yeah, this person's inference of that person's actions is this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even have to mention it. The readers are fucking smart enough; they'll catch on.
Sometimes, but you know, both we had both Havel and Valkyrie end up being very they think out loud sort of characters because you know, it's on a level it is somewhat easier just to have them do like remarking on things and talking to each other. It also makes it way easier to have dialogue because now you're not having everything be thought bubbles between the two. Now they're like talking about it between the two, and suddenly the 700 word prologue turns into fucking 9,000 words.
Oh god! Apparently, Arn has found a Fortnite Ruby crossover.
No.
I
refuse.
No, but I refuse.
I'm not.
You know what's the most painful thing about fanfiction though?
What?
All of the fandoms that I'm actually super into don't have anything good on them.
Yeah. Or, you know, alternatively, in my case, I've read them all. I've read all the good ones.
Or in my case, they're all just fucking
That's true. Like the Berserk fandom is and even the Hunter x Hunter fandom is just fucking cancer.
Oh god, I don't even.
It's all about
You mean hiatus? Ex-hiatus?
Yes, both my favorite fandoms have hiatus. Yes.
Hunter x Hunter is literally just
looking
the
at
Rick and
Hunter
Morty.
fan fiction.
I like Hunter x Hunter, but the thing is, the fanfics are all about Killua and banging.
Oh god. See, that's why I don't know about. Anyway,
Hunter x Hunter is literally just the Rick and Morty of fucking anime.
It is.
I believe you're right because the fandom makes it so.
It does. It makes
like, oh my god, you need to be a special kind of smart to enjoy Hunter x Hunter. No, you don't. It's fucking fun to watch.
Yeah, just like everyone's just like, oh, Hunter x Hunter is so much better than everything else. Like One Piece, or like One Piece.
Okay, no, hold on. Anything is better than One Piece.
Excuse you.
I'm
gonna need you.
That's like your opinion, man.
I need you to step the fuck back and never talk about One Piece in my presence again.
What a One Piece man. One Piece and
what
One
do you?
Punch Man
What do you have? What's your problem?
It's okay, dude. He still likes Naruto.
Yeah,
Fucking
like
still likes.
That's your taste.
I don't think I've read
your
a
taste.
new Naruto.
He says he likes Sword Art Online, so we can't like. We've judged him already.
Fuck you all, you piece.
You like Sword Art Online and you like Naruto. You have no room
you
to talk.
haven't read the light novels. You don't get
Honestly,
to talk
easy.
shit about Sword Art Online.
Sneaky's okay, but the thing is, when you move to Atin and you realize that he plays the video games that come out for Sword Art Online.
Oh,
Okay, hold up.
No.
I actually saw the gameplay for that.
No,
and those
Max,
were pretty decent.
Max actually plays all of the Sword Art Online games. all of them. Not just the monsters. He's bought all of them.
Yep.
So I don't worry. I give him the disappointed look significant amounts of time.
Yep.
Anyway.
Calvin apparently agrees with you about One Piece, though.
Oh, fucking goddamn it!
Which just proves the fact that you're,
Chrysanthemum, I blame you for this. A blonde-haired man with blue eyes looked at Naruto and gave a small grin.
Ooh,
The man wore
trap.
brown cargo shorts with a dark brown belt, black shoes, and a red bandana with a black spiral on his left arm. I'm just kidding, notice that black spiral.
And chains. Lots of chains. And 32 belts. Because you know, the more belts they have, the more protagonists they are.
No, that's zippers, my dude.
Zippers or belts. Depends. If you're a teenager, you get zippers. If you're a grown-ass man, you get belts. I mean, Soul Bad Guy has belts, so that's why.
And brown leather vest over a
Soul
tan.
Bad Guy is not, like, supposed to be edgy, though, I thought.
Yeah, that's, like, he's just, I don't fucking give a shit. That's basically his thing. But then he really does
My
give a
favorite part about the whole belts and zippers thing is that the developer straight out admitted that the more people comment about the belts and zippers, the more belts
That's
and
Kingdom
zippers.
Hearts, not BlazBlue.
Yeah.
The more belts. and
You
zippers.
mean Guilty Gear.
Nomura was just like, people keep complaining about the belts, so I put in more belts. Fuck you. Never ask me for anything else ever again.
Yes.
Yes, I think I've just came up with an idea that can actually work for Naruto or Ruby crossover.
Go
What's
on.
like death in the first chapter?
We're all listening.
What if Naruto at age 6, like something, ended up in Remnant and was adopted into that family?
Which family?
Oh, John Arc, of course.
Oh,
Who
definitely.
else? And the reason that they
Or-
didn't unlock his
What if he
is because
kills
he doesn't
John
have
off
any.
and takes his
No.
place?
Wait, no, I want to see where Zex is going with this because I'm getting a serious case of deja vu right now. Anyways,
Okay, go on, Zex. Zach?
Much nothing more about that. He doesn't have aura because he's adopted and he isn't even from that world.
Well, I mean, see, the thing with Aura is you can sort of actually say he kind of does, because Aura is supposed to be the representation of the soul, and Chakra is supposed to be the manifestation of the soul mixed with the body.
Yeah, so he's got like half aura, basically.
So honestly, I would like to see a 6-year-old Naruto branching off of that idea. Maybe Kelm and I will work on this. Who the fuck knows?
I already have like a prequel, like Ruby.
I would like to see a 6-year-old Naruto that, because Chakra is literally at the same tier as Harry Potter in terms of fuck it, because I want it to happen, it can. I want to see 6-year-old Naruto see semblances and copy them with Chakra.
That could actually be a fucking great thing.
Like, obviously not instantly, but you know, sees X semblance, figures out how to make his energy do that.
Yep. And considering he's in a family of fucking huntsmen, he has a lot of semblances to practice with.
I mean, the best way to start it off then would be like Tai Yang finds him or something, because you know the whole blue eyes, blonde hair, Asian descent.
Same, but it could be the same thing for Jones' family too.
I mean, you could theoretically go with that, but the main problem with that is that we have nothing on John's family besides a shitload of sisters.
Yeah, and they're all huntsmen.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's literally a line thing in his family, like they're descended from like a bigger hero dude who may or may not be Julius Caesar.
I mean, you could
It's
sort
a
of
legion!
branch off of the fanon and do the whole joke with the sexy jutsu early, in that the girls convinced him to transform into a girl version of himself so they could dress him up in dresses and shit.
Yep.
You could make that part of an ongoing joke.
Plus, it could literally be like his entire curiosity about semblances could literally come from his sisters. Like they're all like they could all do these cool things. It's
And
completely different from each other.
You certainly could. You certainly could.
But it would take a lot of work.
Yeah, it would take a lot of work. Which is why
Like-
I think, you know, making it, him being found.
It would
by
have a
Tang
really
Yang.
slow start. It would have a really slow start.
Yeah,
It's like
that's what I'm saying. The Tai Yang route would be easier because they're already known characters, and you wouldn't need to come up with fucking like what's it, 7 sisters and then the 2 parents. You wouldn't have to come up with like 10 original characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is you'd have to come up with almost all of them at the same point because they're
Yeah.
all kids, so they all live together. The reason I'm able to manage fucking working with John's sisters currently in my pick is because I'm slowly bringing them in one by one. I mention them here and there, and then I slowly like build up their characters.
We should talk about this after the stream's over. Right?
Definitely.
I think we should at least put a single chapter out to see if people are interested.
Yep.
Thank you, Zex. You cancerous Russian.
Cheeky breaky idamke.
Cheeky breaky idinahui. Anyway, see you kabla.
Sequel black.
Cycle blades.
It's actually supposed to be pronounced like Suka Blat,
Suka bled.
which was funny because I have a friend named Suka.
I mean, you play Dota. You know enough Russian to get her.
I know enough Russian to be insulted.
Yep. In India, in the Southeast Asia, we learned Pinoy. You guys learned.
We learned Russian and Spanish.
Yep.
God. Anyway,
We learned the Philippines. And
the only armor he wore was a Metasplode, letter for brass, and brown fingerless gloves all on his right arm. Yeah, you can actually tell that Tai Yang was previously the main protagonist of the unknown prelogue to Ruby.
He was the guy who said 2 tangos I'm mid.
The other man gave Naruto a scowl at being called old. He had graying black, spiky hair, red eyes, and a slight stubble along his jawline, with a tattered red cloak, wearing a gray dress shirt with a long tail back dress pants and black dress shoes. On his back was a large gray weapon hidden mostly under his cloak. Why the hell must you call me old Naruto? I'm much older than you, replied the red-eyed man called Crow. You're 10 years older than me, Crow. Lying about your age won't make you any younger, answered Naruto. The blonde-haired man, Tai Yang, gave Naruto a hearty laugh. Yar! And shook
Why is
his
Taeyang
head.
a pirate?
Arr,
blonde-
matey, you haven't
blonde.
changed at all a bit. It's nice knowing you're still as friendly as ever.
Lafleur would be proud.
You know, I was actually going to PM LaFoe after this stream is over as well to see if he wanted
Yeah,
to
get him
come
on the stream.
Nikki, don't make me imagine a pirate, Ruby.
Yarr,
would be a story.
mateys!
Yarr.
Bring off the port starboard bow! Fire the
Grab up.
broadside!
Grab all the cookies.
Oh my god, guys, can you see Naruto and Ruby are made for each other? One of them loves ramen, the other one loves cookies.
I want you to kill yourself.
I've tried. It doesn't work.
Oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He is immortal. Don't you know
Why?
becoming a popular fanfiction author makes you immortal until you die?
People die when they are killed.
Yeah. Just because you're correct does not mean you're right.
You die when you die.
You must get drunk.
Oh, I'm fine. Where was I?
Wonderful.
Naruto
breakfast.
glared at the man's sarcasm and took another sip from his drink. Putting his drink back down, he relaxed a bit in his chair.
Try tongue butthole.
Wait, chair? I thought it was
No.
a stool. Author consistency.
What's consistency?
Yeah, exactly. What's consistency? Every author in fan fiction.
Max is typing. That means Max is here.
Max is here now?
He is in the...
Oh, Max Worse and Faye are typing.
Several people are typing.
Yes.
Being a fan fiction author makes sure you'll receive death threats even after you die.
Probably will.
I would not be surprised. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I'm getting death threats about metempsychos after.
Really, you're still getting death threats about your fic? Are you sure it's not?
Well,
just
now it's more about how dare you delete it? Fucking kill yourself.
Oh, fair enough. I mean,
understandable.
How dare you, sir, exert control over the fictions you are writing?
Yeah, dude. How dare I choose what I want to write?
Max says to those who are not in the Discord, I decided to see what stories were linked tonight, and now I'm scared to find the context of the last 3 or 4 messages. Do I want to watch this?
Oh, definitely not,
You
Max.
totally want to watch this mod, Max.
We have covered a record low amount of stories for one.
Yeah, it's a record low amount of stories. It's not a record for how much vodka I've drank. So there's probably a correlation there.
Probably. So you're not falling down today, so we're already
Oh,
far
don't
ahead.
worry. I have kept careful knowledge collection about the amount of vodka it takes for me to fall down. And that is far less than I've drunken so far.
Wait, the amount is far less than you've drunk until. Because that's what you just said.
I've drunken far less than it takes for me to fall down.
Alright. Then drink more, you fucking asshole. What are you doing?
I am working on it, sir.
Good.
My
Can we skip this at this point? We know what this is already.
If I cannot remember this weekend on a whole by the time Monday comes around, I will consider that a personal victory of mine.
Well,
Anyway.
what did they say? We drink to forget.
I do.
And we forget to drink.
No, that's just you, man.
So how have you... Sorry. That's why I was doing a pirate accent for Taiyang. So how have you been doing, matey? Makes that fucking so easy. Asked Taiyang as he looked over Naruto. Naruto looked over at Taiyang and clenched his teeth. He always wanted to hate Taiyang. Fuck. But how could he? He was too kind. And not once did he ever return any of his glares. Maybe that's what his sister had seen in this man when she married him. Same old, slaying Grim left and right, you know, doing Ozpin's dirty work, replied Naruto as he took a sip of his drink.
So what I'm hearing is Naruto is just Raven in this story.
My name's Cletus. Oh, really? More like taking every job that hits your desk? Questioned Crow, who had stolen a bit of...
fucking Alabama.
No. Because Crow's an Alabama now. I have to make this story fucking enjoyable for someone.
That's an impossibility.
Questioned Crow, who had stolen a bit of whiskey from Naruto's bottle. Naruto yanked his bottle to the side and glared at the man. Crow gave an immature grin.
Wow.
This is hurting me physically. Can we stop?
Yeah, I would recommend skipping.
Flying, inquired Naruto, as he looked at both Taiyang and Crow. They both gave each other a quick glance before looking back at Naruto. Crow took a deep sigh. He just grabbed it and wiped away the grin off his face. Crow looked up at Naruto with a stern look. Naruto? My name's Cletus. Naruto, you need to slow down. worried Crow as he grabbed onto Naruto's shoulder. Tai Yang's drink had finally arrived, and he was quick to grab it. Ozpin has told us about the rigorous... Matey. Matey. Ozpin has told us about the rigorous amount of missions you've been taking of late. You're only 26. There is no reason for you to hurry to your death, explained Tai Yang. Naruto gritted his teeth and hissed. Who's saying I'm trying to get myself killed? I'm simply matching the amount of missions I should be taking to my skill level. You know Summer would have disagreed.
Sneaky, I paid you. Fucking skip it.
We're at the 2-hour mark anyway, alright. Thank you everyone for joining us. This fabulous little detour from our normal Friday stuff, in which we had a little semi-serious interview / conversation with Kelm about the Ruby section, the Naruto section, the 3xD section. Anyway, I am looking forward to trying and getting some more authors onto like a Saturday or Sunday stream / interview, sort of like a Angry Owl, Laughing Lufo, Core, pretty much any other author that anyone can think of. Lupine Horror, I've been looking and talking with him too. If you join the Discord, you'll be able to follow along and be updated when I'm going to be doing those interview streams with these popular authors, or if not popular, at least proliferate authors. Any last words from any of y'all?
Yeah, guys. Don't write fanfictions, stay in school.
Do fanfiction, take your drugs.
Eat, sleep, take your drugs, and go fanfiction.
No, wait, it's do your drugs. No, it's stay in drugs, do your school, stay in fanfiction.
You
Okay.
just fucked that up so hard.
Completely.
Alright, everyone, you can catch us live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday and Friday. If Max and Atin aren't going to be here, I, the main personality of this show, certainly fucking will. Anyway, thank you all for joining us today, and as always, there's always more.
There's always more, and it always gets worse.